All right, Algebra 1B students, welcome to part 2 of lesson 11.2 on dividing rational expressions. In our last video, we multiply rational expressions. You will find that we do something very similar today, but today we're going to divide rational expressions. This is just like dividing fractions, but now we have x's and y's and all kinds of crazy stuff added in. Now the key today is to multiply by the reciprocal of the rational expression. This is the only difference from what we did yesterday, is one thing we must do at the beginning of our problem. Okay? So what I want you to remember is this: when we divide two fractions, a over b divided by c over d, like 1/3 divided by 3/4. Dividing by a fraction is really like multiplying by the reciprocal. And reciprocal means we take this second fraction, and we flip it over. So really what we are doing here is 1/3 times, now we change our divide symbol to a multiply symbol, and we flip that fraction to be 4/3 instead of 3/4. That's called the reciprocal. This is the reciprocal. So dividing by a fraction is like multiplying by the reciprocal. So when we divide two rational expressions, we will do exactly the same thing. So here we have this dividing problem, x squared minus 25 over 4x plus 28 divided by x minus 5 over x squared plus 9x plus 14. They want us to simplify all of this down and divide for them. The very, very first thing I am going to do, step one in all of your problems today, is to flip the second fraction. Flip the second one. So really what this problem should say is flip the second one and multiply. So it's x squared minus 25 over 4x plus 28. Please notice I did not flip the first fraction, but I am going to flip the second one. So now this is times x squared plus 9x plus 14 over x minus 5. Okay. And now this is exactly like what we did yesterday. Okay. Now we're multiplying two rational expressions because I've already flipped, or I found the reciprocal of that second fraction. So now I'm going to factor all kinds of things, everything that I possibly can, and then see what I can cancel out and simplify and squish it all into one fraction. Here in the top left corner, right here, x squared minus 25. This is like x squared plus 0x minus 25. So I want two numbers that multiply to be negative 25 but add up to be 0. And those are negative 5 and positive 5. And then the bottom of that fraction, 4x plus 28, I can simplify that, or factor out of that a 4, and I will have x plus 7 left in. That is being multiplied by x squared plus 9x plus 14. So there I'm trying to factor and look for two numbers that multiply to be 14 and add up to be 9. That is x plus 7 and x plus 2. The bottom of that fraction is just an x minus 5. That cannot be factored. Okay. So after I flip the second one and multiply, now I'm doing all of my factoring. I'm factoring all of my pieces, top, bottoms, everything. I'm trying to factor everything, whether it's quadratic or whether it's just pulling out a 4, whatever it is, we're factoring. And then I look at all my pieces on the top and the pieces on the bottom and see what can I cancel. And the first thing I see is an x minus 5 and x minus 5. Those are gone. The x plus 5 is only on the top. The x plus 7 will cancel with this. And the x plus 2 just stays up there, and the 4 is on the bottom. So what I end up with is x plus 5 in parentheses times x plus 2 in parentheses divided by 4. Everything else from the bottom is gone. Those are the only two things left on the top. This is my simplified answer. This is my quotient. If we look here at got it number 4a, I have x over x plus y divided by xy over x plus y. I'm going to put my x plus y's in parentheses. Remember, I like to put parentheses around things that are added together. And then I'm going to flip that second fraction and change it to a multiply symbol because that is my first step every single time I'm dividing two rational expressions. This really becomes x over x plus y times, and then I flip x plus y over, and then this is x times y, right? X times y. So now that I've flipped, I believe everything is already factored for me here in this problem. So I don't need to worry about factoring. I can immediately cancel some things out. X plus y and the x cancel out there and there. And what I'm left with is, well, nothing on the top, so I'll put a 1, and just a y on the bottom. So my quotient there is 1 over y. Very simple, very nice, very easy. Make sure you flip and multiply and put things in parentheses if there's a plus sign or a minus sign. Okay. I would like you to try letter B. You're going to have to first flip and change your sign to multiplying, and then factor everything and cancel what you can. Right, so pause the video, take a look at letter B, come on back and I'll show you what we should get. Okay? And in the end, we should factor into this. A plus 2, and over here should be...
Attention all staff, this is an impromptu safety drill. If you are interested in joining in the impromptu safety drill, please report to the den or meet at the office area to determine who will be joining tonight. Please meet at the office area or the den to determine who will be meeting at the impromptu safety meeting. Thank you.
This is what I have for all of my factors. The k plus 2's cancel, the 3x or the 3k minus 5's cancel. The 4 can cancel and become a 2. The 2 can cancel, and what I'm left with is 6 over k plus 4, and that is it. 6 over k plus 4. That's my final answer. Okay. So hopefully you can flip and then multiply, and then divide, cancel things out, and do exactly what we did yesterday. Now the only other thing I need to show you is this. If you have a polynomial that is not part of a fraction, just like we did yesterday, we're going to put that over 1 to start with. So if I want to divide here 3x squared minus 12x divided by 5x, or sorry, over 5x, divided by x squared minus 3x minus 4, the first thing I need to do is put this over 1 so that it's a fraction like the other one. Okay, now I can flip and do the reciprocal and multiply. So I'll change my expression from a divide to a multiply. So 3x squared minus 12x over 5x times 1 over x squared minus 3x minus 4. So I flipped that fraction so that the 1 is now on top and the x squared minus 3x minus 4 is on the bottom. Okay? And now I can factor and then multiply and then cancel things out. So I will have, let's see, up here I can take out a 3x. So this will be 3x times x minus 4 over 5x times 1 over x minus 4, x plus 1. Two numbers that multiply to be negative 4 and add to be negative 3, negative 4 and 1. So now I see x minus 4 can cancel here. I have an x there that can cancel with this x here. And now I'll squish everything together. 3 times 1 on the top is 3. On the bottom, 5 and x plus 1. There's my final answer. Now, this is exactly what we did up above. The only difference is I had to put this piece here over 1 to start with. So make sure that you're aware, if there's no fraction, turn it into one by putting it over 1, something over 1. If you have questions, please make a note to ask me in class tomorrow. Otherwise, that's all I have for you right now. Have a wonderful night.